GM, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's episode of our DeFi tutorial. In this episode, we will be talking about Sonic, or previously known better as Fantom. Now, I'm not going to go and explain all the historical context about what Fantom is, how it became Sonic, and all of that. You can read about most of those things on X as well as on other YouTubers. All that you need to know is that this chain was previously known as Fantom. It was around during the DeFi summer of 2021 or even 2022. DeFi kingdoms for a lot of UOGs out there, good and bad memories, I guess. And the TLDR now, the chain has rebranded into Sonic. It's currently being led by Andre Cronje, one of the DeFi godfather himself. So let's jump right into it. So as you can see here, the most interesting thing about Sonic currently is that they are going to distribute roughly almost 200 million in S tokens to participants of the season 1 of its Airdrop program. At the time of this recording, that is roughly almost 100 million in potential rewards that you can acquire if you are active on the Sonic chain itself. Let's see how we can do that. Before that, it's important to know that only around 25% of your airdrop allocation is going to be available immediately. The remaining 75% will vest over 9 months or 270 days. Let's get right into it. So in order to get Sonic points, you can do it via 3 things. Well, honestly, it's just 2, but they categorize it into three different things. So you can do passive stuff, you can do active stuff, and just by doing those 2 things, you will encounter the third requirements, which is to be active in specific applications that want to distribute their allocation of the airdrop for their users. Now, to earn the passive points, basically you just need to deposit or bridge capital onto the Sonic chain itself, and you can do so by using any of the bridges that they recommend on their dashboard. I'm going to share a bit more about that later. As soon as you bridge over your assets, it's important to convert those assets into the whitelisted assets, as you can see here from the screen. I'm not going to read all of them, but basically they are all a version or like a derivative of ETH, Bitcoin, and stablecoin. Now, after you have those assets, the next thing that you can do is to deploy those assets as liquidity on the participating on-chain apps. You can also look at all of the whitelisted applications on the main Sonic points dashboard that I'm going to be talking about later. And last but not least, certain builders and applications are going to get gems by participating in this program. And then those builders and applications can distribute the points that they get to their users kind of however they see fit. So you have to be sort of smart and read all of the fine prints on which apps would share more of their rewards with their users and which will keep it for themselves. Let's jump right into the dashboard. Okay, so the dashboard that Sonic has created is at my.soniclabs.com, and pretty much you can see everything that is going on with the current point system. So I deposited some assets over, so I've been earning passive points. I haven't deployed any liquidity, so I don't have any active points as of the moment. And you can pretty much see here by clicking on Explore Assets, you can see all of the assets that can earn additional rewards on the chain itself. And then you can also see all of the applications that are participating in this program. Last but not least, you can also stake some S token itself and start earning. So you can go to DeFi Llama, and then you can see all of the top protocols that are currently available for you to try on the Sonic chain itself. And then you can just compare this list with the list of participating applications that I just went through. So I'm going to name a few that I think it's worth trying a little thing here and there in order to get some more of the S points. All right, so Rings Finance is one of the protocol that is currently natively building on Sonic. It has already more than 100 million in TVL, and you can pretty much double or triple dip your points by depositing some of the assets that you have bridged over to Sonic, and then you can deposit it again on Rings. So basically it's like a wrapper and a wrapper again. To speak a bit more details about it, you can see here that by depositing assets on Rings, you can get Rings points as well as the gem, which means that Rings is one of the few applications that are participating in the gems program, and they will distribute some of those points that they earn themselves for their users. So additionally, on top of that, you will also get Veda points. So you would get Rings points, Sonic points, and Veda points. Rings at its core is just a meta assets of USD, ETH, and Bitcoin that offers a better yield for stakers. So they will just use the assets that you have deposited on various DeFi strategies, drawing inspirations from Blast, as well as like Solidly's Reap model. Another application that you can also try is Shadow Exchange, which is basically one of the native Sonic decks out there that you can play with. You can just do simple swaps. You can go to the dashboard and provide liquidity, get get both shadow points and sonic points itself, and get pretty good yield here. Let's see. Whoops, that's probably not the best way. The highest TVL is currently one of the highest is both Sonic and USDCE. So you can get 1900%. I know the TVL is not that big. If some whales come in, it might get diluted quite quickly. But if you're bullish on Sonic itself and the S token, this is a pretty good bet to participate in. Of course, not financial advice. Okay, so the third application that I'm going to show is Silo. Of course, Silo is available on a bunch of chains, but their V2 currently has one for Sonic. So you can see here they have Sonic markets, lending and borrowing. So you can find the best rates if you already have some of those wrapped USDC assets that you get from rings or just simple ETH and stable. Basically, everything that's currently happening in the Sonic ecosystem, as you can probably tell at this point, is just like wrapping and wrapping and wrapping. And the more that you wrap, the more that you're going to earn points. But also there's like more smart contract risks with every single step that you take. Although given the state of the market, it's probably a pretty fun experiment to try with if you have some excess capital. Again, not financial advice, of course. And yeah, that is it. And then you will be able to see all of your points here nicely. One thing that I do have to give credits to the Sonic team is that this, I think, is one of the better airdrop hunting experience that I've ever seen out there, because everything is connected. There is a centralized hub in which you can see all of your capital, how are those earning points, and all of the documentations are also fairly clear. Kind of regardless of what you think about Sonic or if you had some bad taste with Fantom before, I think it's worth giving this a shot and just trying to get your hands dirty on it, basically. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.